Good afternoon, everybody. It's game day 3 here in Ljubljana in Germany, and Great Britain will face off to decide who finishes second or third in this group. Both teams come with a 1-1 record, having both lost to France and beaten Slovenia. They won't know who their opponents are until games later in the day. But whatever you're trying to do, you want to win basketball games in this competition. Here is the schedule on game day 3. Slovenia out already will play France at 6 o'clock local time. But we kick things off with Great Britain and Germany. There's the table. France already have that direct qualification into the quarterfinals. Great Britain and Germany will be in the playoffs, but in what position? Those fans obviously want the German win, and a 2-2 head-to-head between these two countries in European competition, and they've all been close games and all been encounters of single-digit results. With me is the former Canadian international and current coach in France, Shona Thorman. Shona, both teams have found ways to win, not always the prettiest ways to win, but they get the win. That's the important thing.
It is the most important thing, and you said it, maybe not the most pretty wins from either team, really waiting to the last minute for that win, but it's a win. And I think the biggest thing right now, and we talked about it a little bit earlier before we went on, who do you want to cross over with? Because you start to think about these things at this point. I don't know. I don't know if it would be easier going up against a Turkey, a Hungary. What I do know is that I think it's important for both these teams to go out here and try and get a win. It doesn't matter who you'll play in 2 days from now. Most important thing is getting a win, because both these teams, I mean, Lisa Tomaitis, new coach for Germany. Chema, he's been around, but he has a lot of new players on this team as well. And it's all about figuring out how to win as a team and how to get better day by day, game by game, in a short competition like this.
And as we said, they don't even know which way it's going to go. They might try and work it out, and then you might even get a crazy set of results that ends up with Slovakia getting through, in a really extreme result. But one thing you know about Germany is they're never going to throw the towel in. They were down most of the game against Slovenia. The home crowd thought their country had a chance of progressing. And then a combination, Grajnash's threes and Gulic on the inside just managed to get them over the line. Yeah,
you said it. I thought Gulic was excellent for them late in that game. She knocked down, if I'm not mistaken, 3 shots in a row, 3 difficult shots in a row. Good free throw shooting team, and we talked about it. Free throw shooting. You know, statistically, not a lot of great areas for Germany, but their free throw shooting has been very good, along with their block shots. They're a big team. They're a tall team. And I think that's something that might be able to frustrate Great Britain, because Great Britain relies so heavily on their inside talent in a Feg Bentley, in a Nigwe. You know, Herbert Harrigan, it's been a little quiet so far.
Well, we can talk more about Kiki Herbert Harrigan after the national anthems, and it will be the national anthem of Great Britain that we start with. So coaches and players will exchange the momentum of the game. Two vastly experienced coaches in their roles. And we mentioned before, Sean, that Coach Tomaitis has got two agendas. One, obviously, this EuroBasket, but what a great start to her preparation for the World Cup. And she's having to learn fast about EuroBasket basketball. We get to see the third team on the floor. Andreas along Rogers, Lorenzo Baldini, and Susanna Vucic from Latvia, Italy, and Montenegro. The third team on the floor for the first game on game day 3. Their teamwork as important as the other two.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Coach Tomaitis. You know, a wealth of experience in the AmeriCup and international stage, World Cups, Olympics, but EuroBasket is different.
Well, that's the normal starting lineup for Great Britain, and they've got to find a way to keep Fenn Begley getting touches of the ball close to the hoop. So does Herbert Harrigan step out? It's got to be her, right?
It has to be her. I think she's playing a little bit out of position, and maybe run some actions for her to go post up in the 3 position. But Temi Fenn-Begley, like always, I expected her to have a good tournament. I mean, the last time that Great Britain were here was 2 EuroBaskets ago, back in 2019. She was an All-Star 5 in that year. They made it all the way to the semifinals. You need a performance from her, big performances, game in and game out.
And there is the head coach, Gemma Buceto, who's been in charge of the Great Britain national team for a number of years now. Vastly experienced coach from Spain, having coached the Spanish national team in the past. Going to get a chance to look at Germany. And there's always going to be a debate while Leonie Freibisch is injured or carrying an injury about how much she's going to play, when she's going to start, etc. And well, there's the answer on that.
Yeah, no surprise. I like this starting lineup for Germany, and I said they're tall. You're starting Fibic in position 2-3. She's 193 centimeters. I mean, they're really tall, and the reason why they're, you know, such a good shot blocking team, I think what it comes down to though is neither of these teams are shooting the ball incredibly well from outside. They're very post-interior dominating teams, and I do think for both of them to be successful as this tournament moves on, we have to see better shooting from the outside. As we talked quickly at the start of the game, Gulic and how important she was in that win over Slovenia for Germany.
Well, you saw the stat line. She had 12 points, but 6 of those were literally in the last 2-3 minutes.
Yep.
Maybe she doesn't get enough touches. They've shot a lot of threes, but shot a lot of poor threes as well. So it's, I don't know which of these teams is going to click into gear. They're going to get the win.
Well, it's always about improving, and you hope as the tournament goes on, you continue to improve personally and as a team. And I think we will find out very shortly who's making that step in the rush of a tournament, because it's hard to improve as tournaments go on, but you have to. You have to if you want to compete at this level. Well,
the #1 rebounding team in the tournament, Great Britain, they don't shoot the ball well, so they have a lot of opportunities on the offensive glass, but they also force the other team to take bad shots. So their athleticism and size has really helped them. And a disappointing stat or a worrying stat, haven't won consecutive games in EuroBasket since the late in the 1990s Germany, but they haven't been here, so it's maybe the stat line is not exactly on the spot when it comes to how it's going to affect this game. But both teams can relax a little bit because they know they're going to be in the playoff games. I don't think, like you, it really matters who they play. It's going to be a tough matchup anyway, and it's far better just going to that game with a win than coming back off of a bad loss.
Yeah, and you know, we know that Fibic only played 1 game for them. That was the last game against Slovenia. You know, another opportunity for her to maybe get her legs back. Clearly, if she didn't play, it also probably meant in that game day 1, she hasn't been practicing a whole lot as well, because as we talked about it, she definitely does have something going on. I think it's lower body, knee related. So we'll see how she comes out here, because she had an excellent season this year in Spain.
Well, welcome everybody to Ljubljana. It's early in the day, but we've got a huge clash between Great Britain in the blue and Germany in the white. Probably the most physical clash we're going to see in this EuroBasket. And Germany will get a look at it in the half court. Freibisch will let it set. Takes the handoff. Guarded by Winterpern, gets it to the corner. The open 3 is short. In fact, Benley pulls it down and brings it. Wallace down the floor. She's not shy, goes inside. Early ball knocked away. Great Britain will have it. Wallace not shooting it almost surprised me.
Yeah, when you mentioned she wasn't shy, I remember we were doing the call on the France game and didn't even get my introduction finished, and she already put up a three-point shot.
Well, Germany start by going to the three, which they've really gone to a lot. Wallace gets her feet set, fills it up on the catch, and where's the German scout that says you've got to have a hand up? Through shoulder, goes to the inside, spins, has it knocked away by Winterburn, pulls on the floor, ball will go to Great Britain. We've got to say, firstly, a good decision to try and post up the guard, but then lose control.
Yeah, and there's that shot by Wallace. You said it. This has been 2 games now that Wallace has come out and shot the ball really, really well for Great Britain. And she has a quick release. You got to be there when she catches.
Like Benley out top. Look at Gwenway in the post. Don't get the passing angle. 5 on the clock. Winterburn's going to have to make something happen here. Looks to Feg Benley on the inside. Puts her under the hoop. She's going to have to take a tough one. Shot blocked, and Germany have a chance in transition.
That was a nice pass, maybe a little bit too far.
Hirsch stops, pops for 2. He's way short. Just about scrapes the paint on the front of the ring. Fag Benley with the ball in the post, looking to go to work. Gets to the far side. Egwenway puts it on the floor, has to take the turnaround, and comes up empty. Takes the early ball screen. Shoulder kicks, the open 3 is good. And that's much better inside-outside option.
Yeah, I like it. You said it. They haven't been shooting the 3 ball that great for Germany, but anytime you can get the ball inside, collapse the defense, and find that open shooter on the outside, just gives you that little extra half a second to get your shot off.
Herbert Harrigan settles for the jumper. Hurst looks inside. Will go to the early touch. Gudish goes to the far side of the ring, tries to get Feg Benley in the air and draws contact. Germany will have it on the baseline. Quick release on the 3, out of bounds, is no good. And Wallace is off to the races, gets going, and GB have numbers down the floor. Wainwright gets that early touch. Going to work in the lane, looks for the second move, doesn't get it, finds Fig Benley in the corner. Winterburn doesn't get it. Fig Benley goes hard to the far side of the ring and finishes beautifully.
Good job there. Fig Benley, she's difficult to guard because you have to get out and have a hand up on that 3-point shot, and that's what opens up the lanes for her.
Super quick first step. Freibisch looks what she is, absolute quality on the catch and go. Wallace settles for the 3, is no good. And Germany just control the glass.
Yeah, no offensive rebounding. Enigwe, Feg Benley, Harrigan, we've seen them crash the boards a lot, and they've been a little bit quiet today.
Super pass, foul on Egwingwe, and almost the exact same option that Great Britain had, and they overpassed it. Super lead pass, timing was great, foul on the play. That's quick.
That is quick. I mentioned it. She's only 23 years old, FIBA. We see Feg Benley getting all the way to the basket there. 23 years old, and I think she had her best professional season with Saragossa. You know, they won the Queen's Cup. They're going to be playing in EuroLeague next year. She's going back. And when you come off a season like she had in a very, very tough professional league, you know you're going to have confidence going into the summer with your national team. And I think her career is just starting to explode.
Absolutely. And you said it as well, before the game. She had that game yesterday. It was the first game. She looks even, much more in the rhythm right now, straight away.
Yeah.
Winterman outside will get Feg Benley on the flare. Harrigan, you'd love Harrigan to be aggressive with the basketball. Tries to work her way to the ring, steps through, goes off the glass, doesn't get it, gets her own rebound, has it knocked away. Gives the referee one of those looks that says, are you sure? Brockenhish comes off the stagger, puts it back the other way. Again, that penetration and kick, but this time Harrigan's in the lane. Never sure barking at the official gets you anywhere.
No. And the thing is, you know, you always see players talk to referees because you're frustrated. They're never going to change the call either.
Maybe with a soft touch on the step back, but Winterburn took the contact. They haven't warned her about the flop, so they must have just thought that the contact wasn't sufficient enough. She brings it. Completely different game for both teams because they both played France, where France were pressing all over the floor. Both teams allowing each other to get into the half court. Winterburn comes off the screen. In fact, Benley really didn't separate, puts it on the floor. Inside to Egwenwe, the hands up. Wallace wants it back out. She's not going to get that because Egwenwe just works her way to the far side of the ring. Well, it's pretty much going to script, right?
Yeah, but you know what's interesting too? Let's not forget, both these teams played France, and both of them played about 40 minutes of zone defense against France. And here we see them both coming out, not picking up full court, but they are coming out a lot more man-to-man defense here.
Germany rotate. It's always a very like-for-like substitution with that German roster. So deep, so long. Acker with the pass. British on the inside. Got to try and false it up. Winterburn with a defensive rebound. She'll stop. Got to look for her own offense. Winterburn for Great Britain. Wallace outside will take the ball screen. Looks like it's going to go up. Little one-legged step back.
If you just saw that defensive possession there for Germany.
Like Benley says, no way are you going up that weak.
Germany, they're very, very tall team. Outside of the point guard position, 2 through 5, you see them switching on ball, switching off ball situations because there is no really dip as far as the height in those other positions for Germany. So that can be, you know, a very big advantage as this tournament goes on, you know, depending on who you're scouting, who you're playing against. Switching defense can get very, very annoying for a lot of teams' offenses.
Wilkinson checks in for Great Britain at the 3, so it's a more traditional 3 for them. Right, as she looks underneath, no option. Mercer puts it on the floor, looks back door, nice pass. Well, it just about secured it. Like Sontag almost threw it out of bounds, but saw Sontag feet set on the corner is short. Egwenwe adds another rebound to that increasing number. Winterburn will take the handoff, tries to turn the corner, going hard in the lane and kicks. Egwenwe for 3 is good. Well, if Egwenwe starts making 3s on top of everything else, it's going to be a pretty successful afternoon for Great Britain.
Yeah, we've seen her, you know, really, I don't want to say destroy, but she has been very efficient for GB underneath the basket. So for her to be able to step out, knock down the 3, it's going to change how you defend her, that's for sure.
Will Wallace intercepts. Should and does make the 2. And Germany really are a turnover-prone team, and you can see why. If they stand in the lane, GB are going to shoot that passing lane.
Yeah, you said it, talking about turnovers. Not a great stat, but I believe they are first in turnovers in this tournament with 23 turnovers a game in their past 2 games. I know it's only been 2 games.
Yeah.
But that's not, you know, you don't typically want to be first in that statistical category.
It's too much standing beside the ball handler. You must cut. Okay, it's also too much looking into our post. We need to run them through action. Okay, so next time down, run the zipper. Okay, run the zipper, and then let's pass it back. This is going to be let's go to Lena, get it really high. Okay, this is going to be, who's in? Louis. Okay, Sunny, when she gets it, just run through this action, dribble hand
Well, there's that stat
into a ball
showing
screen.
only 14 assists compared to the 23 turnovers. That turnover and assist ratio crazy thing is, though, you know, they've lost games to someone like France, single digits. So they've turned the ball over and still managed to stay in games. Shot the three-point bad, still managed to stay in games. And that size really helps them. It's just take care of the basketball, and Coach Tomaitis will get more productivity.
Yeah, you said it. Normally you like to have that assist-to-turnover ratio opposite. But again, Germany, I mean, I think, you know, it's a new coaching staff. Not a lot of preparation. And obviously Coach Tomaitis is coming in. She's putting in new systems, new concepts, offensively, defensively.
Well,
so I think it'll take them a little bit of time.
I don't think I've ever seen the referees give the ball to the team where the other team is still not back out on the floor, but there you go. No, nice look, but perhaps trying to force it too early. And Will Schroeder, who really has demonstrated her skill set across the first two games, turns it over again for Germany. So Wilke picks it up earlier defensively, puts Winterburn under a little bit of pressure. Wallace. Gwenway and Fagbenle will dive. They're going to change it. Fagbenle gets it deep on the shot clock. Winding down, it's got to go up. Great defensive effort, though. That's a super one-on-one defensive effort.
There you see Fagbenle say, wait, no, my bad. Not sure she really knew the shot clock was winding down. But you mentioned it. I thought it was well defended. You know, took away her right hand. She came back left, and the defender was there. No easy basket. No even shot attempt, even by Great Britain.
What do you think Coach Tomaitis was really trying to get across when she said we've got to like let the post get it on their cuts, on the move? Were they just too static, or?
Yeah, I think she was trying to say, one, if you're a little bit too much standing around, she said, you know, we got to catch a movement. You got to come up. You got to come towards the ball. If you're not open, you got to continue to move back door, keep the defense, you know, not let them settle. And another turnover.
Great Britain get hands on that one. Wallace, Udu looks inside. Turned down Agwenway, and she was frustrated she didn't get it. She felt she had position. Wilkinson puts the three up. It's nothing. And Freibisch will advance the basketball. Inaka with a three. That's her spot. Two late ones, really. Got them over the line against Slovenia. 3 from 4 in yesterday's game from the three-point line. Stroked it beautifully. Offensive foul. And Germany responding well, haven't taken the timeout. Yeah, they turned it over once, but defensively been excellent.
And, you know, I do think defense is something that you can control maybe a little bit easier than you can your offense, hitting, knocking down outside shots. And like I said, Coach Tomaitis has put in new systems, and I'm sure that's probably a reason why we are seeing a lot of turnovers by this German team. But if every game they can come in, lock down, play defense, they're going to give themselves a chance to win. Like we saw against France, they ended up losing, but you mentioned it was only by single digits. They, you know, had a couple possessions to possibly tie it against France. They couldn't, and that's because of their defense, though. They're in the games.
Freibisch settles for a tough three. Oh, beautiful release. I was going to say she didn't look like she had much separation. She doesn't need much.
No, you said it. That was a beautiful release. Wow. She has such a great shot. 23 years old. We're going to be hearing her name for a very, very long time to come.
But Benley's going to get the roll and one. And she is a handful on the dribble. Nigel Schroeder picks up the foul. She just picks up too many fouls, right?
But what I like is Fagbenle, I mean, almost a veteran move. Fagbenle's excellent at catching the ball outside around the three-point line, driving. You saw it was Fagbenle noticed that, okay, Jezl Schroeder a little bit off balance. Fagbenle's the one who drew the contact, but she also had enough body awareness, and she's skilled enough to draw the contact, still be able to go up under control.
Well, chases down the rebound. The shooter is obviously the person who knows where the shot is going to be short. Needs a pass. Wilkinson gives her an option. 5 on the possession. Wilkinson slips, but just about gets the pass away. And Tammy Fagbenle, back-to-back hoops and an offensive rebound in a series, doing what she does. Germany go with the two-guard set and turn it over again. All the good work they did coming out of that timeout being undone by another turnover. Gal will advance the basketball. Should Germany get after Great Britain a little bit more? They're very passive on the ball. They're going to try and get Ozzy Mahmoud on the inside. Doesn't get it. Gal attacks it. Penetrate, kicks. Fagbenle for three is off. And Fagbenle's chasing everything down. When you captain a team, there's all sorts of ways to lead, and she leads.
She does. She's the kind of leader who she can get her teammates to follow, and just the work ethic, the desire. And she definitely has the desire. You know, she's talked about it. She loves playing for Great Britain.
Yeah. She goes to the post this time, wants it deep, and it's just not, didn't even look down there. Nice pass, great take, super finish.
And I think that was a good decision. Shot clock was winding down. Gulic, she was going to have to put up a tough three. She thought about it, but nice patience. You got an easy 2-point bucket.
Fagbenle outside the three. Momodu will dive, looks to get it, but won't find it. Wilkinson thinks about pull up, goes inside with that. Another bounce pass, and then they, to an extent, overpass it with 5 on the shot clock. It's tough for a young player coming in the case of someone like Mahmoud, who hasn't played a lot of minutes, to come in and look to shoot the basketball. But, you know, she's out there because coach wants her to play. Wallace tries to post, doesn't get. 5 on the clock. Fagbenle gives it to Gal with a 3. It's good. Quick release out of bounds, and again, no hand up on the shot.
Like you said, maybe they're being a little bit passive with the on-ball defense for Germany.
Yeah, it's not really.
Their high athleticism could be a little bit stronger.
Gulic goes with the left hand, doesn't get the drop. That's a great matchup. That's a super matchup. That's a nice matchup for you, anyone watching the game at home, to follow. EuroLeague quality players going at it on the inside. We've reached the end of the first quarter, and Great Britain with a 19-15 advantage over a turnover toward Germany.
Well, there you see the statistics. Neither team really being very aggressive getting to the free throw line. You know, I think we see it here, 50% from three-point range for both teams. That's a good percentage. Germany, maybe a missed couple opportunities, but it's more taking care of the ball. They're missing opportunities because of some of those turnovers. And I don't think they're ill-intended turnovers. They're trying to make the extra pass. They're trying to, you know, do, I think, what Coach Tomaitis wants them to do. They're missing it. They're missing some open shots. Some open passes. Passes are a little off. Just learning to play together a little bit more, I think they're going to be able to cut down those turnovers. But imagine they had a few less turnovers. I think this game could be tied. So I think only being down 4 points to Great Britain, you have to be happy. My question is, I don't think you can be giving up 19 points a quarter to Great Britain.
No.
You know, maybe some other teams in this tournament, but your defense has to be better. In my opinion, 19 is too much for Great Britain to score in a quarter.
So do you see them changing the pressure on the ball? Because that's the point. It looks really soft.
Yeah, you know, what I like is that they're switching, because they can switch 2 through 5, but you have to switch aggressive. You know, okay, that last three-pointer by Gale, she came off a handoff, they switched, but no, you weren't ready. They weren't there. They didn't have a hand up. There was no, you know, on-ball intention to slow down, make things a little bit more difficult. I think before Great Britain even has a look at the basket, you need to frustrate them, maybe push them out. You know, you expect Fagbenle to score, and, you know, her 6 points, I think they're well-deserved 6 points.
Yeah. But you don't expect Great Britain to be 50% from the three-point line with wide open looks. I don't think they had a wide open anything against France, and even with Slovenia, who really did push them hard. Gale will try and inbound. Wilkinson tries to release. They go lob. It looks a little bit more active from the Germans at the start of this second quarter. Going to try and get Fegbenle in the post. Wilkinson lifts, puts it on the floor, gets to the baseline, off the glass, is blocked. And Great Britain will retain possession.
I like that, though. I think it was a pretty good aggressive take, you know. You'd rather that than try and avoid the contact. Okay, you get blocked, but it was a good, strong take.
Winterburn gets it to Fegbenle. Long two is short. Amudi's on the glass. Great work on the board. Second move up the glass is good for two. And the youngster, Coach Pusetta was talking to her in the quarter break, really responded well. Great offensive rebound, super putback. It's hard on the inside in this game. Anything on the glass is going to be well earned by both sets of players. Brockenhurst turns down the option to shoot the three. Bracebridge came up open, but they missed her. Brockenhurst turns the corner, drive lane wide open, blows the layup. And I don't think either team are going to get a lot of joy on the offensive glass. Winterburn sees the same thing, penetrates, kicks. Gal for three is off, and now Wilkinson's on the glass. And Great Britain just outworking Germany. Super start to the second quarter.
Yeah, great job by Great Britain.
Whew.
But don't forget, she's playing position 2, and she is 193.
And she's skilled.
She is very skilled.
You said it, like a career from 23 now, she's a world superstar.
She is. I think we're going to see her around a lot more in the FIBA EuroLeague competition, obviously next year.
Fegbenle is off with the, and again, the young Brit, straight out of college in the States, Ozzy Mahmoudou, just outworks her opponent. And the one thing I wasn't expecting, Shona, is like either team to get outworked in that way. I thought there was just going to be an absolute battle on the glass.
Yeah, I did too, especially, you know, watching both these teams play 2 games before this. I thought it was going to be a physical, aggressive game, especially on the rebounding end. Do you think maybe they're a little bit tired? I mean, they both have played 2 games. They had yesterday off, though.
And Winterburn gets another offensive rebound, but goes up a little off balance, can't get it to drop. I think you're right. You know, I think days off sometimes, you need 2 days to recover. Bracebridge, and we're going to get a defensive foul on Wilkinson, not the offensive foul. I think the referee was a bit, I'm not sure, decided on which way to call it. Wilkinson,
yeah, it was an easy when you see the,
that's right. When you see the
hooking,
replay,
the hold.
Yeah. As soon as you see the palm of the hand on the player, it's an easy call for the official. Walker thinks about it. Why not give it to Fleidish? You send settles her feet, shoots the three, is short. Great work by Wilker on the glass. Outwork 2 British defenders, and I think they're just going to work the clock out. Must have been a slow reset, perhaps, not sure.
You know, I've been a big fan of Holly Winterburn for a long time. What I don't like to see, she's playing out of position, let's be honest. I don't think she's a point guard. She's being asked to play point guard. I think she's done a good job. It was very difficult against France. She made some adjustments in that second half against France in the point guard position. What I don't like to see is that her first shot attempts came in the second quarter. I think she's more of a skilled offensive player that you need to get her involved because she is a shooter. She can shoot the ball. You can't wait over 10 minutes for her to take her first shot.
That's such a great point. You've almost got to reward her
yes.
for the fact she's playing out of position.
Yes.
Find a way to get her shot she wants. Like now, you know, give her something she wants.
But you know, bring it up, pass, have her run off a stagger after or something.
Great Britain turn it over. Germany with an opportunity to close on this 6-point advance. Friebisch has it, hands it off. As it goes to the far side of the ring, stops. With the 2 is good. And she's such an accomplished post player.
Yeah, she really is. That's the shots that we saw against that big win over Slovenia. She hit one in that spot on the other end in the fourth quarter the other day to get them their first win in a EuroBasket in a very long time.
It looks underneath. They don't get it. Great Britain become a little slow and static in the half court. Gale has it. Looks to get to the middle. Takes a tough one. Doesn't get it. But Mahmoud goes to the glass again, and no white shirt put a body on her, and she just kept working.
No, I mean, Great Britain averaging 10 offensive rebounds a game. That's a lot. We know that they're leading the tournament in rebounds, and 10 of those coming on the offensive end. I think, you know, you mentioned it, they don't shoot the ball great, so you got to give yourself second, third opportunities, and you do that by offensive rebounding.
Well, Germany get one offensive rebound of their own. For three is good. Oh.
Well, she missed game day 1. She was there for game day 2 and that win over Slovenia. She was only 1 for 8 in that game from three-point range. So we mentioned it. I think it's going to take her a little while to find her feet. And she's definitely come out here today. 2 of 4 from three-point range, already in double digits with 10 points.
That's 9 offensive rebounds for Great Britain. We're only halfway through the second quarter. Winsberg stops, pops, doesn't get it to go. And you get the feeling now she's trying to look for stuff as opposed to get what she wants.
Yes.
Reibisch with the basketball. Wilka will take the goal shoulder and Winterburn. They switch. Wilka gets to the far side of the ring. Doesn't get the finish. But this, again, Great Britain just outworked Germany on the glass.
Yeah, I don't know how to say. You just see the ball is there and Germany just not as aggressive.
On the inside for 2 is good. In fact, Benley caught that deep. And is that Gulish that's down?
Yeah, I think she just got tripped up and maybe tripped over Fed Bentley's feet, her own feet. She fell hard though.
Yeah, she looks, and she's not the type of player to stay down.
I think she's okay. She's, you know, has that kind of half smile. I'm hurt, but I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, she's walking okay, maybe just a little winded or something.
And this is what I mean, you know, you have, the ball is in your fingertips, and I think Great Britain just being a little bit more aggressive on the defensive rebounds, but also the offensive rebounds. I mean, this is the EuroBasket. Who wants it? You have to want it more than the other team and be aggressive and go and get that ball with 2 hands.
Well, there's nothing more true than that in terms of you have to want it at this level. EuroBasket women day in, day out. If you don't want it, you're going to get beat. But that's an amazing stat at this level to have 9 offensive rebounds in 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, if they continue on this way, we might be seeing a record come out with offensive rebounds in a game.
They turn down the post entry. Shoulder has it, will hand off. They don't turn down that 3, and that's short. And I'd say they had better looks at that.
I think, you know, the times that we've seen good three-point shots by Germany is when the ball has gone inside and then been kicked outside.
And another offensive rebound for Great Britain. That's 10 in a quarter and a half. Winterburn looks inside. Peg Bentley gets it. Turnaround is off for 2. Gets another offensive rebound. And we're on the inside for 2 and 1. And great things happen if you outwork your opponent, and great things are happening for Great Britain right now.
You know, we talked a little bit, sometimes having that day off, you lose your momentum and the recovery, you know, isn't quite the same. And maybe we're seeing that a little bit by Germany. They seem a little, I don't want to say sluggish, but just less aggressive than we saw, especially against Slovenia.
That is a quality effort off the bench for Ozzy Mahudik. As you want your bench players to come in with energy. There was no output from the GB bench coming into this compared to the German bench, and she's just put a shift in. Maybe the light turns on there and again for young players. Wilka puts it on the floor left, looks to spin to the middle, gets to the far side of the ring and scoops up a poor one. And Wallace, it's another rebound. She adds to that rebound total for Great Britain. In fact, Benley on the move for 2.
She's so talented, especially off the dribble. I mean, let's not forget, Fag Bentley, she's a post 5, and her skill set, her dribbling, and just her awareness of how to finish, especially with contact around the basket.
And I'm just, well, we're going to get a chance to listen to Coach Tomatis. I'm just shocked at a German team that really competed with France, probably the most physical team here in Ljubljana, not competing physically. Let's take a listen when Coach Tomatis comes out of her coach's huddle.
We look defeated. We look like we've mailed in the game. Do we even need to go back out there? We're playing with zero intensity and zero toughness right now. Guards, you have to rebound down. You have to go and take someone off the glass. You can't stand on the three-point line. They're destroying us on the offensive boards. And on offense, let's get a good shot. Run them through options. Shirt, pistol, zipper. Otherwise, in transition. Run over a double drag. Let's go. Deep pressure.
As much as the technical things she said, there was some passion in that timeout, and her team needs that.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I'm not sure if she listened to us, but what we feel, she's definitely feeling, and you can hear the disappointment and, like you said, the passion in her voice saying, but guys, do you even want to go back out there? Because if you do, you need to show me something a little bit more. And it's not the technical, tactical things. It's the you need to be more aggressive, you need to want it, you need to play with a little bit more heart.
Well, she's got some other options on the bench. If this group doesn't show that, she's going to have to make some changes and find a unit that wants to play hard.
Well, I just looked it up, Mark, and 30 is the record for most offensive rebounds. That is a lot in a game.
Little shoulder, puts it on the floor, tries to get to the ring, steps through, goes back to a fadeaway though, and comes up short. And again, super effort on the defensive end by Great Britain. McCracken gets it off to Harrigan, stops, pops, and strokes it. Too easy.
Too easy. We talked about it. I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive. I mean, people playing in this tournament, it's one of the best tournaments, Continental Cup games, tournaments that they have FIBA, and you need to be more aggressive. Every player is too skilled if you just let them catch that easily. Super
cut, super pass, and again, well, coach asked for cuts. She asked people to get a little bit more aggressive. And even though the Will showed a shot on the first possession after the timeout, didn't drop down, they're being much more aggressive in where they want to shoot the ball from. Herbert Harrigan, having made the two, looks underneath, stops, fires it up again. This time is short. And that looked a little settled for. Recognize gets to the far side of the ring. Nice second move. Doesn't get the drop. Will have to earn it from the free throw line. But that's three offensive consecutively where they've gone to the keyway. And you've got to, they've listened to coach. Now they're going to be a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I think, I like that they're being a little bit more aggressive offensively. They're moving, they're cutting, like Coach said. I still think that they're lacking something on the defensive end, though.
Yes. But it's still only a 10-point game. Coach isn't happy. We're not happy. But they make these two. It's back to single digits. And 2:51 in the half remaining. But without a doubt, Great Britain is the team that's come out first game of the day and played with desire and aggression as well as an enormous amount of skill. Wilkinson will check back in. And Great Britain are almost being allowed, if that's the right word, to go with a more traditional, smaller lineup with the lack of Germany being aggressive enough with that size. Here's Winterberg. She flares, gets it off the flare screen, takes the ball screen, looks to go to the middle. Wallace lifts, she'll attack it. Goes with a second move, great finish. Took some contact, gets it away. Reestablishes the double-digit lead. Bokenhorst gets it off. Nice pass. And Winterman is going to be frustrated by the call, but
great pass, nice movement. What I liked is Fibic came up. Before she even caught the ball, she knew that Jesselschulder was sealing and had a mismatch inside. And without hesitation, ball went inside.
And there's no reason for Winterburn to be concerned about a foul and it being on ball because it wasn't her foul. Wallace picks up the personal. Builds a shot on the free throw line. They just look out of sync, out of rhythm. Very similar to yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Oh for 2 Harrington comes down with the defensive rebound. Winterburn drops it inside to Fagbenle, takes the handoff, drops it inside, super pass, but Fagbenle needs a pass, gets one with Wilkinson. 8 on the possession. Stops, fires up, the 3 is long. Harrigan's on the glass, and again, nobody. Wallace with time. Just a blow pass off the glass, it's blocked. Germany somehow survived that series because Great Britain got to the ring, but a little bit more aggression, a bit more physicality. Kleibisch has it. That was his shoulder. That's an offensive foul.
She wasn't really setting the screen. I think that's what the problem was, because she was there.
Yeah.
But she didn't really know if she was going to set it or not, and instead she ended up moving. And I mean, good job. I think it was Wilkinson just kind of ran into her as well.
And to be fair, that's what it looked like. It
yeah,
just looked like people running into each other.
Yep. But the referee was kind of behind the action, who called it. And
yep.
I understand kind of where he was probably coming from. Looks like maybe she was going to go screen. Our angle showed that she didn't really have an intention to screen.
No. You just wish, if you're a German fan there, you'd see a little bit more pressure up the floor like that. Try and just make Winterburn work a little harder. Fagbenle has it in the block, though. To the middle, steps through the second move, third move. Great defensive effort. And we've said so far, what a one-on-one matchup that is.
Yeah, I really like this matchup on both ends. Here we're seeing Fagbenle on offense, but it's also enjoyable to watch when Gulic down there is on the other end and Fagbenle is trying to defend her.
Fagbenle just about has it. 5 on the possession. Winterburn comes to get, takes a bad one. He had more time than that.
Yeah, it's 2 shots now that Winterburn has, put up a tough shot where you still have a couple seconds.
Will go to the throw line for 3.
Maybe Winterburn, a little frustration coming out. You saw her down after that shot, telling the referee, I'm getting fouled. And then here, I didn't see a lot of contact, but the referee was right there.
Just gets the first to drop. You had that coaching manual video. You just line up. This is how you shoot the basketball with Freibisch. It's just perfect. It's just out of the book. Now, what normally happens is I just said that and she'd have missed the next one. But she goes.
She's that good.
She's that good. She can't even be cursed by us. 3 for 3 from the line, and she never looked like she was going to miss. Uchetta is going to take a timeout for Great Britain. They lead it 36-29, and Germany with a little run that gets it to 7, having trailed by double digits.
Okay, ladies, okay. Let's do now display. We put Temi here in this side, okay? Then we put here Savannah, Kiki, Sydney, Holly. Then what we do is, okay, ball to Temi, so, okay, in the other side, sorry. Switch, go to Temi, and then this one goes there. So we leave all the space for Temi to go inside. Better this side. Okay, so we put Temi here, Kiki on the other side, switch, Temi gets the ball like in one, and then this player to the other side. And then you have all this space, okay?
I get the ball back or not?
You pass the ball to her, and then, no. You pass the ball and go away. And then look, hey, one more defense. With no fouls, we have the red line, okay? CBL 3, 1, 2, 3, easy.
Well, a couple highlights of FIBA and highlights she has, that's for sure. 13 points here already in the first half. She played 2 days ago in that win over Slovenia, but after watching her play this year in Spain, and you could tell she missed game day 1, something was bothering her. And you don't want to say she had a bad game, but she had an off game, in my opinion.
Yep.
Still was able to help her team find a way to win. And today we're just seeing, you know, the 23-year-old FIBA that we're used to seeing.
But Harrigan is fouled on the drive to the hoop. You would love to see her do more of that. Because she's long and she can protect it and take the contact. And she has to step up and make the throws. And Great Britain have done a nice job in building the lead with Agwenwe on her 2 fouls. They've managed to actually increase the lead, and look, they haven't really missed her. And that's enabled coach to keep her on the bench. She's only played 7 minutes with those 2 fouls. And they've still rebounded the hell out of the basketball. FIBA has it. Will Germany go quick and try and get 2 for 1, or will they just run it normal? FIBA puts it on the floor, gets to the keyway for an easy 2, but blows it. But Germany will keep the basketball and get a new full team. Great decision to attack the hoop. Great Britain for one of the few times in this first half unable to secure the rebound.
And sort of a rare, easy miss there, but they get the ball back, like you said.
Holst, they've run it away from Threebish for some reason. Sontag in the middle, steps back, tough 2 is no good. Fagbenle gets it. Great Britain have 10 seconds remaining in this first half. Wallace is going to keep this. Comes off the screen, puts it on the floor, stops, pops, and is long. And that will do it for a fast half where Great Britain have just flat out outworked Germany and lead it 38-29 in the game to decide who will be second in the group. There it is, confirming that 38-29, Great Britain have the lead at the halftime of the first game of the day here in Slovenia.
Well, we talked about it. You know, I think offensively, when Germany moved the ball more than a couple passes, goes from one side to the other side, they do a pretty good job. But for me, it's more on the defensive end. You know, I'm a little bit disappointed with Germany's effort and just aggressiveness defensively. We know that Great Britain is a very good offensive rebounding team. Anyone who's scouted would say that after the first 2 games. Also, if you scout the individual players, you know how strong they are, especially offensive rebounding. They have been averaging 10 offensive rebounds in this tournament, 44 total rebounds per game. How can you go into the game knowing that and give up 13 offensive rebounds to Great Britain? And I think that's why we see Great Britain with a little bit of a lead here at halftime.
Well, every other stat looks pretty similar,
yes.
Right? You know,
but the difference has to be that they're getting more opportunities. You know, Great Britain, they've shot 41 times in this game compared to only 26 shot attempts for Germany. Germany did a little bit better job taking care of the ball in that second quarter. Yeah. You know, they were on their mark to have over 20 at the end of 10 minutes, but they only had 2 turnovers in the second quarter. So did a better job taking care of the ball, but just giving way too many second chance opportunities for Great Britain, and that's why they're up right now. And a lot of those offensive rebounds are hustle offensive rebounds. Yeah, Great Britain, they're athletic, they can jump. But, you know, we saw Temi shoot a 3, hustle all the way to the corner, and almost come up with another offensive rebound. Those are the kind of plays that you make and that you need to make if you want to try and win a game.
And they've turned it into points, right? 11 second chance points. They lead by 9, and there you go. It's, you know, we talk about the quality of Threebish and everything else, but it's about effort for Great Britain. We're going to take a break now. We'll see you for the second half.
You need character. You need chemistry.
FIBA Basketball World Cup is the peak of the game.
It's the toughest competition in the basketball world to win.
That is why I will be there.
Because when you win for one,
you win for all.
about with Israel, as much as the game is slipping away from them, as still 8 minutes to play.
Now they have 21 points from turnovers, from 16 to turnover 16 times, and 21 points from it.
Tough play it by Bentley, and she goes right, left, and then finishes with her left.
Suntouch goes inside with the pass off the pick and roll. Wilker outside, real deep three is good. That was in halfway to the halfway line.
Anybody watching this game right now, here goes Messaman laying it up and in. If they're watching from Ljubljana, they're going to be like, gee. Oh, look at the bounce pass. Quevedo and Conde delivers once again. Takes it deep and is blocked by Cohen. And now a little bit of words being exchanged.
Love that.
Cohen and Fasina.
Cohen trying to get the crowd hyped as well. Spanu now. Lovely footwork. Oh my goodness me. Put that one on a postcard. That is stunning.
Beautiful footwork. Elite, actually.
Montenegro, such a big part of their game against Greece. Oh, nice pass, Kapsa. What? I don't even recognize the Spain team from what we saw the other night.
Lilique has it. Goes to the ring. Oh, what a block! Oh! What a block by McGowan! And she gets the love of her teammates on that play. Well, welcome back inside the Stocci Arena. As you see Leonie Freibisch, who's just been exceptional in that first half. If you ever want to take a picture of how to shoot a jump shot, she should be your model for it. She's just been exceptional. And if it wasn't for her quality, this could have been a really, really ugly situation for Germany because they've just been outworked.
Yep, outworked. It looks like to me this first 20 minutes that Great Britain wanted it more than Germany did. And, you know, that's the reason why they are up 9 points at halftime over Germany, because if you look at the statistics, I mean, they're rather similar as far as shooting goes, but it's just who wants it more, and Great Britain wants it more, and that's why they're sitting with 13 offensive rebounds, and out of that, they've given themselves 11 extra points in second chance points, and it's the game.
Yeah.
And Germany, they just look a little, you know, you and I talked about it at halftime. How do you only have 5 team fouls after 20 minutes, but you gave up 13 offensive rebounds? You're just not being aggressive.
Yeah. And it's, Coach Tomatis said the same things we were saying. She asked them to be more aggressive, and they were for a while. But which one of those players is going to say, I've had enough now. I'm not going to get outworked on the glass. If I don't get a box out, I'm going to hit someone. I'm going to go after it. Because if they don't, it'll be the same. You know, there's only 2 outcomes then, aren't there? You know, Great Britain, if they shoot more and they make more, then that solves the offensive rebounding problem for them. That's going to be the game lost. They have got to come out here, and this has got to be more of a physical confrontation. Otherwise, Great Britain are second and Germany are third.
Yep, and not sure who they're going to cross over to yet. They're going to have to wait around for the game that's coming up next.
Yeah, because in that group, no one's guaranteed anything. You know, it's okay. We all expect Serbia to probably top the group, but they're playing Hungary, and Hungary have the ability to upset anybody. But that's for game 2. Game 1 here on game day 3 of the women's EuroBasket here in Ljubljana, Slovenia. Sees Great Britain with the 38-29 lead.
Let's not get
Let's listen to this, because this will tell you where they are.
Intensity, right? It's like we're matching their intensity, and they're not that intense, and we're now dropping our level to play at their level. We got to play more intense, okay? And then we got to clean up the boards, play with speed and transition. We're going to get some good ones early, okay? We're very lucky to only be down 9. We should feel very fortunate. But now we got to turn it on. Okay, let's go. Let's get some runs together, some back-to-back stops. Okay, we're back in it. Okay, let's go.
You go inside, okay, let's move. And look, we need movement. When we put the ball inside, we need movement from the perimeter. In any offense, we cannot stay like this. We have to move the defenders so we can put the ball inside and play there. All right, let's go. Let's go strong from the beginning, okay?
EuroBasket app, download it. You can get all the stats, all the permutation of who qualifies, who plays who. That'll be changing every single game on this game day 3 about who's going to be in the crossover games, who gets the direct qualification. The group winners go straight into the quarterfinals. The rest have to play 2v3 crossovers to decide the makeup of the quarterfinals. Both these teams will be in the crossover, but we don't know who they'll be against, and we don't know who's going to be second or third. So Great Britain will start smaller than they did in the game as Wilkinson starts at the 3. Germany go with the same lineup that started the game. And you'd like to see Germany just increase the tempo at both ends of the floor. But here we go. Germany will have possession at the start of quarter 3. And Brockenhorst will have the basketball. As Schroeder comes off the screen, they look inside. Wilkinson's chasing Freebie. She just breaks it down, finds herself open. They have the open 3. And Schroeder just strokes it. Everyone in the blue shirt below the foul line.
Yeah, I like that. I thought they had good movement, good speed, and that's what it's about, intention. Now let's see if they can do the same on the defensive end, or are Great Britain just going to continue to do what they want, especially on the offensive glass?
In fact, Bentley falls, and everyone looks at everybody else. In fact, Bentley smiles about it, but let's take a look. This goes base, it's just slipped.
Yeah, just went a little bit body was quicker than her feet.
Yeah. And there's the replay of the open three. And again, they broke the defense down, got the reaction from the defense, stroked the three. Greisel Schroeder, again, demonstrates the skill set she has.
And Germany shooting the three-point shot really well in this game. Not putting up a lot, but 4 of 10, 40%. Well, now they're going to be 5 of 11. And that's a nice little stat line.
Yeah. Schroeder has it. They space it. Horst. Ball sticks on the one side. And miss. Greisel Schroeder wide open. Brunish with the tough move. And Brockenhurst has just got to make that pass.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even have to be a good one.
Just throw it up. She took 2 defenders, but missed opportunity.
Gwenway will find Wallace. That's too easy a catch for Wallace. Misses the 3. Winterburn keeps it alive almost and falls into the referee, but the fact that she got her hands on it is not a good sign for Germany. And the fact that Wallace had the easy catch, I mean,
again, kind of came off a handoff situation. They're switching. You can't switch low, especially against a shooter like Wallace.
And Hurst goes to the corner. They open it out. So it goes to the ring for an easy 2. Winterburn acknowledges the lack of defense, but Fagbenle had outworked people, but they missed it by a dribble. Nice start by Germany. Bessor picks up 2 more. Nice baseline penetration. No one in a blue shirt helped. Great Britain on the baseline. Wallace wraps it to Fagbenle. Feet set for 2 is no good. And Germany clean up the glass. Freibisch mishandled it. Almost second-guessed herself as she came to the three-point line. The lane was there.
Just fumbles the ball out of bounds.
More pressure up the floor this time. Winterburn just... And often you see players like slip on the logos, but she's okay. Wallace going to run that same play where Fagbenle doesn't have to dive this time because the Gwenway goes strong to the glass but blows it. And Great Britain pointless in the first 2.5 minutes of this third quarter. Schroeder has it mid-range, puts it on the floor, looks to spin baseline, goes off the glass. And it's a tough ask to go over a Gwenway.
Yeah, it was a nice take, but the double team came, and you need to be able to, change your mindset.
Gwenway catches deep, steps through, is blocked. Goes to Schroeder, just again plays with a lot more physicality. And Gwenway looks around, but she has 4 wide open teammates on the perimeter. That's what happens when you sit with fouls. You just got to get yourself, think you have to get yourself going. Freibisch with the inside-outside option, but the pass was a little astray. Bessor picks it up. Hurst with 5 on the possession, comes off the high screen, turns the corner for 2, gets it to go.
Yeah, so Germany definitely have come out with a lot more energy offensively, but I'm more impressed with what they have done on the defensive end. They forced Temi into, well, I don't want to say they forced Temi into a turnover, but they made her have to play faster than she wanted to play. They had some good box outs, forcing players into tough shots, 1-on-2, 1-on-3, and just a different energy that we're feeling from this German team.
And then except Savannah, okay? Little help, and then they go for the shooter. Forget about that, okay? Don't forget about that. Now, in the offense, okay, be patient. Okay, let's play now 1, okay? Let's play now 1, so we change, and also 4 out. Keep trying there, okay? Don't panic, okay? The score is there. Don't think for the score, all right? Just play with order. Good defense, okay? Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Well, Coach Brusetta just trying to maybe just settle them down a little, just reminding them, be patient. I didn't really see him speed up though.
No, I don't think they sped up. I think they could be a little bit more aggressive, more prepared to defend. You saw Winterburn, she said, my bad. You got to be prepared. You got to defend every action, every possession, not really take any moments off. I don't think they're really playing slow, though.
No, Winston has it. Gwenway. I think Gazwasala has a point here. Like
that's what you do on both.
When someone cuts and your body's there, you
bump them.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see her hold anybody. In fact, if you're a German fan watching this, you're like, great, she's actually bumped her.
Exactly.
Benley in the block. Pass to Wilkinson, trying to create an angle, can't do it. Wallace with time and space. Great closeout by Gulish.
And that's a great defensive possession, Mark.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of energy and intensity, you know, they had switch, rotation, and you're asking your 5-player to go from the opposite low block area almost to the 45 and contest a 3-point shot.
That's a 6 block for Germany.
Well, they do average 5 a game, leading this tournament.
They're going to call a foul, and while we were unhappy with the call down the other end, they've called the same thing at this end. So.
Yeah.
Well, Bentley's going to sit. Mamudu comes in, Wilkinson steps out. She had a great impact on the game in the first half, but, well, let's see. Rob's in the game too for the first time for Great Britain. It's off for 3, is off. Great work on the glass. Gulish just owned that one and finds the option on the pass. Puts over the 3 again, is short. This time Gwenway says, no way is anyone getting that, and just pulls it in.
Well, you know, we talked about Bentley going to the bench, and I thought it was a little bit early, but let's not forget that Ozzy Mamoudou came in 9 minutes for them, hasn't played much in this tournament at all, and 3 of 3. So she has done a great job in her minutes that she's played today.
Winterburn fouled on the penetration, and the referee says she's passing this off. I'm not really sure how they can tell she was passing it off. Great Britain, early changes in this third quarter. Gal comes in for Wallace. Leading scores for Great Britain, both sitting on the bench at the same time. Winterburn comes off the ball, off the screen. Looks inside. Maybe has it. Tries to step through, nowhere to go, and gets blocked and comes down with it. Difference being with this German defense, the first half, they allowed the step through. This time, there's no way through for anybody. And Coach Tomaitis has got the response she wanted to get in this third quarter. Now Great Britain have to up their level again. Nice pass, easy 2. And Germany trailing 9 at the half, tie it at 38. They're all over this now. It's contagious. Effort's always contagious. Winterburn with nowhere to go, needs a pass, finds one. Gwenway wants it, gets it deep. Tries to go to the far side of the ring, is foul, travel.
Wow. Looked like a travel to me. I think that was a good call, but I think what's concerning is, and it's the intensity defensively that Germany has come out in this second half. You know, they only forced Great Britain into 4 turnovers in the first 20 minutes. That's not a lot. So you could tell they weren't really doing much on the defensive end. And now already, first 5 minutes of this third quarter, Great Britain has 4 turnovers.
And that's all about effort, all about effort. It's contagious. 1 or 2 people do it, everyone has to do it. That's all on the outside. Nash looks down low. Fradish going to work with Rob in the post, and he's going to foul, although it looked as though they lost the contact and she traveled, but probably the foul beforehand.
Was it with the maybe reach in there a little bit with the left hand?
So Germany with momentum. Great Britain led by 9. Now it's tied up at 38 apiece. We're just over halfway through this third quarter. I know we always talk about it being a game of runs, but Germany are on one right now. Harrigan gets her first action of the second half. Fagbenle returns. She gets it to Freiby. She gets her feet set, puts it up, is long.
How pretty is her shot, though? Coming off a little pin down screen, getting her hips around, ready to shoot from 3-point range.
And she comes off
effortless.
Yeah, and she comes off quick without it looking like she's coming off quick. Gale has it outside. Fagbenle's going to go to the block. They're going to try and change the angle. But again, Germany bumped the cut in the passing lane. It's all hard work for Great Britain right now. Gale in the lane, takes a tough one off the glass, gets it to go, but doesn't get it to drop. Wilke with time, sets her feet, strokes the three, is good. And Great Britain go underneath the screen. And Wilke makes them pay. Harrigan has it. It's Winterburn, great help. Wilke, both ends of the floor, and then Gwynway fouls, and that'll be her third foul.
And you know, that's what, that effort right there to go after the guard rebounding down. We heard Coach Tomaitis talk about it right before they came out for this third quarter in the huddle. And guards rebounding down. In the first half, they didn't do that. They would have given up that offensive rebound to Nigwa running in there. But this half, everything is about Germany right now and how they're playing. They have not allowed Great Britain to even score in this quarter yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think about this move, going into a zone against a team that's shooting 40% from three in the game?
Well, Wilke takes a tough one, doesn't get the roll, but they give up the offensive rebound, which is always the issue in the zone. But it's a little bit complete role reversal.
Yeah.
And the lid is still on the hoop for Great Britain. Winterburn. Looks all a bit worried at the moment, Great Britain's offense. Fagbenle finds Gal, it's all a bit frantic. Herbert Harrigan puts it on the floor, steps in for the two, doesn't get it to go. Fagbenle works again on the glass and draws the contact. But again, apart from not securing the rebound, the German defense is a step faster, harder, everything.
Step faster, they're anticipating, they're hustling, they're more aggressive.
You know, sometimes if your offense isn't working, you know, coaches will say, change your defense, change the way you feel, get something else. And I'm sure that's part of the logic for Coach Bruchetta. Fagbenle has it. Winterburn's got to be a bit aggressive herself right now. In the lane, off the glass is blocked. And they didn't move anybody and create a lane, and Germany again. Great ball movement. Sontag looks at it, gives it up. And it's hit the second side quickly. Shoulder puts it into Wilke's hand. And now she's going to roll. Deep on the clock and have to put up a prayer now. And that's a violation. And Great Britain answer the issue with just a great defensive effort.
Yeah, great defensive effort there by Great Britain. They were physical, they were moving. No easy looks, no easy catches for Germany.
Coach Tomaitis has got to really ride this momentum now. She's really got to push guys coming in to really bring energy and keep what Germany have. Winterburn picks it up, has to go to Gal. Agwenwe gets it deep in the block. Goes to the middle, gives a little handoff to Fagbenle, and she can't make the two. And there's still 8 minutes of pointless basketball.
Stuck at 38, Great Britain.
Sontag for two. And the youngster gets to the far side of the ring and kisses the glass. And Germany lead by 7, having trailed by 9. And Great Britain go in there again. Gwenway, Fagbenle in the corner. 4-3 is good.
They needed that. They needed to stop the bleeding, see the ball go through the hoop, and who else other than Fagbenle could do that for them?
Staying with his zone, really spreading it. Sontag has to catch it a long way from the hoop. Wilke. And she knew she was near the sideline because she looked down when she caught the ball. But And she won't get too uptight about it, Coach Tomatis, but they give up the first points and they step out of bounds. Great Britain don't need any help to get back in the game. A lot more urgency from the GB bench. Here's Fagbenle, needs a pass, finds one. Wenwei trying to get to the ring, but mishandles, puts it on the floor, going the other way. Off the glass with the left hand is no good. And there's just nothing but white shirts on the glass in this third quarter. Hurst could have done it, moves it on. Beautiful fast break basketball, get it down, hit a side, hit a second side, knock down the open two. Germany look a different team.
Yeah, they really do. Playing more aggressive, which is giving them more confidence.
Harrigan gets it to Fagbenle, beyond the three-point line, is short. But somehow, now Gwenway takes the three and knocks it down. And if you'd have said Great Britain's only points in the second quarter were going to be a Gwenway and Fagbenle from the three, that's not in anyone's scouting report. But who cares if you're a Great Britain fan? They decked a three-point game, and now it looks like the game's back on again. Open three, the other way, but so can't get it to drop, and Great Britain are all over the glass. Can Helen get it away? Yes, she can, but can't make it go. And Great Britain just about salvaged that quarter to trail by only 3 at the end of it. Pointless for 8 minutes. They're down 47-44 at the end of 3. Game on.
Yeah, what a great 10 minutes of play for Germany. Still shooting the three ball well. 6-16, that's a good night. But it's their two-pointers, you know, they've upped that percentage a little bit from the two. And it's, in my opinion, it's starting on the defensive end. Defensively, they buckled down, they were more aggressive, which I think gave them a little bit more speed, momentum on offense, and maybe a little bit more confidence, because we're seeing players not even hesitate when they're open and knocking down shots.
And a lot of that, again, they're moving the ball that much more quicker, they have a little more time,
yeah.
Everyone's on the move. And to be fair, because coaches get a hard time, especially from people like us. But Coach Tobias, like, sometimes it's not technical, is it? That's just, hey guys, if you play harder and move better, whatever offense we're gonna run, we're gonna execute it. And that's all they've done. Just played harder, quicker, faster.
And you know, to keep talking about those offensive rebounds, Great Britain, they had 13, but they actually have 17 in the game. And we're talking about how Germany were doing such a better job of boxing out, guards rebounding down, and still Great Britain giving themselves a couple of extra shot opportunities, and one of those was that three-pointer at the end of the quarter when, like you said, kind of saved their quarter, and they're only trailing by 3. And that's not bad. I know they were up 9 going into the quarter, but to not score for 8 straight minutes and to only be trailing by 3, have to feel somewhat comfortable. Look at that, 18-6 in this quarter, all Germany.
So Harrigan will inbound the ball. Great Britain having salvaged, as we've said, that quarter. Will have the first possession as well, so can actually tie it on this possession. Winterburn. Look at her, still not getting after it. Wallace. Trying to get Fagbenle in the post. Winterburn pops out. Fagbenle with a mid-post catch. Harrigan off the glass is fouled, and I'll say it again, you just wish she would go to the ring a lot stronger and more often.
Yeah, I think she's talented, athletic enough to be able to beat her defender off the dribble, and a lot of times she goes and then goes to a tough 1 or 2 dribble pull-up where sometimes you just think, go ahead, provoke the foul, or try and get to the rim and score, you know, basket a little bit closer.
This is the first of the 3 throws. Chance to cut this to a 2-point game. Comes up empty, 0 for 2, and we've talked about how important free throw shooting is and how good Germany are at it. Freibisch, they show hard. Sontag takes it again, floats it in the lane, doesn't get it to drop, and that's a rebound by Gwenway. Oh, and they just throw it away. Morganhurst, and we kept saying, like, get up the floor a little more. Nice pass, easy two. Effort always gets rewarded. And Great Britain give up a two they should never have even dreamt of giving up. Sontag with 4 points personal. Gwenway. Benley in the block. She's actually wide open because she's on the floor. Harrigan out top, moves it on. Wallace drops it inside. Gwenway has to take the two because the penetration area just filled up with players. Sontag, oh, and out again. Germany and the team are now outworking Great Britain.
And where is the defense? I mean, everyone was back, just no communication, and you see Gulic wide open there. And Sontag, I like the game that she's having. Let's keep in mind, Sontag, she's a young player,
Absolutely.
only 19 years old. She had that great first game against France, 10 points, perfect from the field, 4 for 4. And tonight also doing a little bit of everything for this German team.
Harrigan for three, on the buzzer is good. Again, everything good in this game for either team is really down to effort. Morganhurst comes left unusually, looks inside. Nice little look, but Gwenway's there. You're not going to get it over her. Winterburn leads the break. Harrigan looking for back-to-back threes. It's short. Gwenway's all over the glass. Comes down with it. Ball's gone loose and will stay with Great Britain.
You see Sontag, the youngin, plays at UCLA. Where Tomaitis in the press conference the other day said, she's really happy with how well Sontag has come and played. And she goes, it's so strange to me. She goes, because we actually couldn't practice the other day because we had a few players taking exams. So they had to cancel practice because their exams were being, you know, they were taking them here, but they couldn't, they had to take them at a certain time. So some of the difficulties for some of these countries when you have young players who are still in school.
Well, because Bessor is at UCLA with her, right? They're probably doing the same paper at the same time. Wow. That's not in that coaching interview. They say, what do you think the team's going to do? Yeah, how do you do this?
But I think, it's also a sign of the athlete's commitment to their education as well, which you love to see.
Absolutely love to see it. Gwenway has the release. Wallace, who's been very quiet in this second half. And she goes looking for a long three, comes up short. And that's 3 consecutive three-pointers, 4 consecutive three-pointers for Great Britain that they've put up. Nice pass. Super little move. Super little move by Bessor. Just got herself nice little step. But how sharp was the ball movement again?
Yeah, you said it. It's all about being unselfish. And we are seeing a very different unselfish German team. Everyone's stepping up.
Gwenway just said, I'm going. Takes it strong to the ring. It really is game on. We've had 3 quarters of weirdness in many ways. It's a wide open. Can't get it to go. And Wallace just worked harder than anybody. Comes down with it and pushes. In fact, Benley must get a touch. Doesn't get a touch. Now she gets it one-on-one. There's a holding foul as Gwenway tried to duck, and Brockenhurst just held her. Every German referee doesn't like the call. You can hear the whistling in the crowd. Brockenhurst is going to sit. There's the replay of the shot before, being strong, taking it to the hoop. Gale will inbound the ball. Gwenway just wants to go, goes hard, doesn't get it to go. Forgot that she was supposed, well, maybe chose not to screen. Wilker. Germany slowing up a little bit. There's a whistle on the play, off the ball. Germany also a foul-less at the moment in this fourth quarter, which could become a factor as we get deep, because that It's the GB's third team foul. That normally has a way of evening itself out before it gets too obvious. 2-point game. Germany on the end line with possession. So drops inside. Great hands by Harrigan. Gives it up. Wallace in transition. Second step off the glass. Doesn't get it to go. Great effort by Bashar to get back for Germany. They run the other way. 4-on-1. All they have to do is make the right decision, and they do.
Yeah, you said it. Good job there. Hustle play by a couple German players to get back, not give up anything easy for Wallace, and now hustle plays usually turn into something good.
Gwenway is being the aggressor. Shota doesn't like the call, shows a little bit of dissent. Referee just reminds her that that's not the thing to do. And there's the foul with the body was okay. It looked like the inside arm. On the free throw line to make this a 2-point game. Still an eternity left, still 6 minutes pretty much. She makes the first.
And we talked about it, Great Britain, not a good third quarter at all. Weren't able to score, but they've definitely come out with a little bit more intensity, effort, and they're at least now matching the intensity effort that we saw by Germany during that third quarter.
British checks back in. It's always a nice option to bring the EuroLeague 5 player into the game. So hands off. British at the elbow. Wilker looks to create, needs a pass. And that didn't go extra. Now she has to put this one up. Wilker for 3 is off. Harrigan comes down with a defensive rebound and will bring it. Wallace in transition, ball sticks. Comes off the ball screen. Fagbenle lines it up, knocks the 3 down. 6 points for Fagbenle in the second half, all from behind the arc. That's not what the stat we would normally say.
No, she definitely, in the last few years, I think she has really shown that she's developed that outside shooting touch from 3. And it's so hard because you really have to be able to defend her penetration as well. So they are kind of sitting off her a little bit.
Reiby doesn't get the 2. Works on the glass by Glenn Atcher, but the ball will go to Great Britain. Wallace is going to sit with just under 5 to go. You'd think that would be a short sit, right?
Hey, I don't think it'll be that long. Trailing by 1 is Germany, and your best player, 13 points. She hasn't scored in this half, though.
No.
But her teammates have been able to score, and you still need to respect and defend her.
Gwenway outside. Benley goes to the post this time. Gwenway with the 3. But it was a standstill 3, not really in rhythm. Wilker has it. Wilker's had a really big contribution for Germany in this game. It looks really solid. Gets to the lane, steps through, throws up the jump hook. Doesn't get it to drop. It tried as hard as it could to go down for her.
I think Germany maybe could have got a better option out of that instead of Wilke going one-on-one against Fagbenle, who's a great defender, long arms, nice reach.
Fagbenle helps Winterburn out as she falls. Fagbenle with the 2, and wow.
I was just about to say, I'm not sure that was a good shot either, but when it goes in, it becomes a good shot.
And this is a real issue now for Germany. They had all that momentum in the third quarter. Now they trail by 3, but what do? You take it to the ring for 2. Let's put it on the floor, gets to the ring. Gal handles it. Gwenway deep. Don't change the angle. She had the low side open. Harrigan. Someone's got to put it up. Harrigan has to, and it's blocked. And they got completely lost and static. Walker gives it up. The open 3 on the end of the break for Sontag is good. Shot in rhythm, out of transition. And the one thing you never want to see from a team in this situation, they're sucking air at the moment, Great Britain. Gonna tried to move Winterburn off the point to perhaps get her something, but she hasn't even smelt the ball, let alone seen it. Benley down low, and they settle for another three.
And that time, like you said, it's not really a shot in rhythm, and now not sprinting back. And they got lucky. Winterburn, good job reading that pass because there was open German players underneath the basket.
Winterburn, aggressive. Second move, gets it to Benley on the baseline. She goes strong. Winterburn gets it in the corner, thinks about it. Gets to the middle, off the glass, is fouled. And you gotta love the effort to get to the ring.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't settle. It was just an aggressive take. And normally the more aggressive player, offensively or defensively, is going to win the battle. And right there, Winterburn just aggressive, going all the way. And you see Grindahar just, it's a good call. It's an easy call. She maybe didn't hit her that hard, but when you lower your arm like that, it's going to be an easy call for the referees.
And to be fair to Holly Winterburn for Great Britain, at the moment, she's like the only one defensively that's on the move. She got out to Sontag, came up with a steal.
You know, I mean, number 31, Nigwe, she looks tired to me. She doesn't have the same kind of energy. She sat a lot in the first half with those foul troubles. So it's strange to me, but I think she's settled for a couple three-point shots. And then the last defensive effort, if it wasn't for Winterburn, you know, it probably was going to be a Nigwe's fault not getting back on defense because she just looks tired right now.
Winterburn goes 1 for 2, closes it to a 1-point game. And Yildiz will advance the basketball. Glenway's going to play her defense inside the three-point line, it looks. Fleibisch has it. Looks to go baseline. Winterburn's the helper. No one helps her, though. Off the glass for 2. You just got to put yourself on the line effort-wise. And that's what Germany have done in the second half. Ball's knocked away by Gulish. 14 seconds on the possession. Winterburn attacks it. Off the glass for 2. Beautiful move. Great decision to be strong to the ring.
And again, you know, I said I want to see Winterburn more aggressive on the offensive end, looking for her shot a little bit more. And I think she goes through droughts where she doesn't even look for herself, but when she does, good things happen.
The early 3 for Germany on again. Basov standing still on that one. Not in rhythm. Winterburn has it again. Chance for Great Britain to lead on this trip. Benley pops. Gwenway dives. Benley's going hard. It's blocked. And goes out of bounds, and Gulish with a huge play.
That's going to be another block. It's her 5th of the game, and it's going to be the 10th team block for Germany. The record is 13 blocks. There's still a minute 13 to play. They might be tying the record soon. Look at that.
That's a huge play by Gulish. Stayed in the play. That's the important thing.
It was actually...
Yeah, the ball's dead. It's like they should still do it. But I think she went out and came back without the play starting again, if that makes sense.
Okay, yep.
That's the only thing I can think of. And Horst gets it off to Freibisch. Why wouldn't you have it? Let her have the basketball. Puts it on the floor with the right hand. Goes inside. What a pass.
Nice
wide
pass.
Open. Oh, showed it for 3. Can't knock it down. And Wallace somehow comes down with a defensive rebound and brings it. Grulic stays with the play, almost gets it. Agwemwe wants and gets, goes up, is blocked by Grulic's shoulder. And as you said, it just looked a tired move.
She really looks, and look right here, getting back on defense. She's not sprinting like we saw her sprint and play the first 2 games of this tournament.
She looks down low. In fact, Bentley's going to get called for the hold. And that's only Great Britain's 2nd foul. So we get a timeout. Germany in the penalty. Great Britain have committed their 2nd foul.
Well, talked about it, blocks. That's 11 team blocks now. The record is 13.
We still have fouls, okay? So we can make some fouls that is not for shot. But we have now to make big effort in defense. Now, in the offense, we are going to play this. Temi down, Christine here, Georgia here, Christine, Temi, Georgia here. Okay, listen, Sydney here. Now, Sydney goes like that, Georgia like this. You remember this play? Holly, pass the ball there. Then, Christine, switch, screen here. And then when you, like that, and Temi up. So Temi up, Christine down there. We try to put the ball inside, okay? All right?
Well, when we come back, Germany on the sideline with a 14-second reset.
And there's that block I talked about. For sure, right now, they're 2nd in all-time blocks as a team in any FIBA Women's EuroBasket. So they're 2 away from tying that record. There is 34 seconds left, you know, but right now there's a defensive possession that needs to be had for Great Britain. They only have 2 team fouls. They have not been aggressive defensively, and I think they need to think about being a little bit more aggressive, maybe try and go for a steal. Don't give up an easy shot while going for a steal, but they do have fouls to give, and I think they need to use them.
Yep. Well, here we go. 34.5 seconds remain. Germany with the 1-point lead, and the basketball will inbound from the baseline. Leibisch tries to get it underneath. So they go pick and pick again, and Grulic is the release. Rockenhurst down the lane, drops it. They're going to call a foul on that.
You know, it's going to be on the pass, though. Let's see.
Well, there's the foul. Definitely on the pass. And then would there have been the steal if it hadn't been the foul? Probably not.
Probably not, yeah.
29.6, another 14-second reset. Offensive foul, and Winterburn buys one. Gonna have a look at it, whether it's right or wrong. She does a great job of convincing the official. Let's take a look.
Well, FIBA just smiling. But nice heads-up defensive play. I think she just fell. Yeah. I mean, Fibic ran into her, but she was also already before the contact was actually, it looks like she was falling.
Looks like she just fell over the leg.
Yes, yes. You know, for me, that's just a basketball play. There was no foul involved.
Well, they can't review a foul.
A foul like that, no.
They can't review that. They can review other things, but not that.
And the coaches do have, what's it called now?
Do they have a review?
You could, yeah, but it's not for every action. There's only certain actions, and I don't think they can reverse a foul call. You know, if you get a foul and you think it should be an unsportsmanlike, I think they can go and ask to challenge it.
Yeah, because it's an entry. Because in some leagues you can, can't you? You can, but not in FIBA competition. I'm not really sure, therefore, what the referees are talking about there, because the call's been made, the clock didn't start because the ball didn't come in.
Clock didn't start, like you said. And it's an offensive foul, so there's no free throws, even though Germany have already committed over 5 team fouls.
Yep. So let's just get on with it.
Yeah.
Coach Bruchetta doesn't take his one remaining timeout. Great Britain with a possession to lead the game. Germany will definitely get the ball back if there's just a one possession on this.
I mean, I imagine you have to go into your star, Feg Bentley, 18 points.
Well, they go to Agwemwe, and she's fouled, and she'll have to earn it from the free throw line. And to an extent, it looked like it was going to be a turnover.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good battle between the bigs. I'm not sure I would have called a foul. Maybe we'll see it a little bit more on the replay, but contact was being made on both sides.
Yes, and that's the issue for me. It's like, is that? Oh no,
oh, it's the right hand to hold. Okay, I didn't see that.
No,
but let's not forget in the 2 games coming into this, 46.2% from the free throw line is Inigwe so far in the tournament. So I guess if you want to foul someone and make her earn it, it would be her.
Well, this to tie the game. Ogrinwe doesn't get it, but Fagbenle comes up with it. No, it goes to Germany. I'd love to see that one again because she had it. And
think it was a foul?
Maybe, but I'd love to see it again because she seemed to have it and then lost it. Here you go. No, she just lost it.
Yeah, so right here, Coach Smidas saying she's not going to use a timeout. She wants...
She has 2 to go as well.
I know.
They call the foul. Smidas still doesn't look like she's going to take the timeout. She still has 2. Or does she have 1?
No, she's only used 1, so she has 2 timeouts.
Yeah.
And you would think maybe she would want to use a timeout just to get the ball in the front court. And you don't want to, if you turn it over here, it could be a quick, easy basket. But she's saying they're going to have to foul you, so be strong with the ball. And obviously, Joseph Shoulder Gulic.
She traveled. GB have a timeout. Coach Brissett is going to take it. And with 8.1 seconds to go, Germany can't foul because they're in the penalty. Great Britain have 8 seconds to win the game.
Yeah, that's a good little call by the ref. She picked up her pivot foot before she dribbled. I think she was expecting the foul so much that she forgot that she probably should just sweep and go.
Yep. I mean, it's an ongoing debate. You know, a lot of coaches now will take the ball at the end line because they feel they've got more space to play and that they don't have the halfway line problem. But still take the time out to organize, and they caught the ball so deeply. Right on the baseline.
So deep.
Yeah.
The thing is, she caught it on the baseline. She could have gone up the sideline easily, but I think she thought they were just going to foul her right away.
So if you're GB now, you know that everyone will expect him to go to Fagbenle probably on the inside, because if they foul Fagbenle, she's going to make. Where do they go? Or do they just give Wallace an open look? Or does Winterman get it? Where would you go, Coach?
I think there's a reason why you have a player like Fagbenle, and I think she has to get the touch. Maybe a little diversion with Wallace, or she's the one who, you know, looks to go into Fagbenle, but for me, I think you have to go to Fagbenle. She's your leader, she's your star, and other people, you know, supporting cast, absolutely, but I would trust her. There's 8 seconds left. That's a lot of time. You don't need to put up a quick shot. You do need to put up a shot and not leave a lot of time left in case you do miss, so you can foul.
Yeah.
We'll see what they decide to do.
Get the offensive rebound.
Or, yeah.
They've got to get it in, though. Fagbenle has it. Puts it on the floor. Winterburn's going to put up a prayer. It's not answered. I think they gets up. Tries to go through traffic. Fagbenle gets it away. It doesn't drop. While they had 2 shots at it, Great Britain and Germany hang on to a 62-61 victory. There's the confirmation. Germany will be second in this group after winning it 62-61. They will play the 3rd place team in Group D. Great Britain will play the 2nd place team. What a game.
It was exciting. I don't really know how to describe the first half, but the second half was definitely exciting. We saw a different German team come out in the 3rd. They stormed back. outscored GB 18-6 in that third quarter. It took GB till the fourth quarter to be able to have a response. They got a response, and it was a back and forth game. Some tough calls, some tough turnovers, but really, what a fun second half here in Slovenia.
Well, it's one of those things that the only number that matters is 62 and 61. It's, you know, Germany actually did do a decent job offensively, percentage-wise. So Germany will be second in the group. We're going to find out who they'll play pretty much in the next. Well, no, we're going to have to wait until the last game to find out who they play.
And I think if you're a German, you know, if you're part of the German Federation, the coaching staff, the players, the fans who are out here supporting them, Mark, you have to be happy. Germany going into this, I'm not sure they thought that they could get out of group play. They are finishing second in their group, and this was a good group.
Yeah.
So they have to be proud with how they have played so far. 2 wins. They haven't had 2 wins in a FIBA Women's EuroBasket in group play since the late 90s. So talk about a team that has momentum. We know that they're going to be hosting the World Cup. This is a great stepping stone to see how they do here, and can they continue to grow? They cannot play like that first 20 minutes against maybe a better, more talented team. So that's going to have to be a point of emphasis moving forward in this tournament. It's a 40-minute game, not a 20-minute game.
That's a great point. I mean, the biggest difference with me with them today is that they didn't take as many bad shots as they've taken in previous games. Their threes were so much better out of what they wanted to run, a lot of inside-outside, and FIBA, she's what she is. She's a world-class player.
She is a world-class, but hey, let's not forget, if it weren't for FIBA, they would have been down a lot more, I think, in that at the end of the first half. She only scored 13 points total. All of those, I believe, came in the first half. Her teammates really stepped up in the second half offensively, but 100% it started with defense, and it got them some good looks. They played with a better speed in the second half because of their defense, and Germany pulling off a 1-point win. Great Britain, I mean, I know basketball is a game of runs, but you can't win if you can't score, especially that 8-minute stretch they didn't score in the third, Mark. That's just way too long. You have to figure out how to be able to score when things are tough, and I think it's going to be a good learning experience for this young GB team.
Here's a question we didn't talk about, but changing the starting lineup at the start of the second half, team not used to it. Is that part of the problem, or should they be able to cope with that?
I mean, you know, especially for coaches, you know, we know that Coach Chema didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this tournament, and you kind of have to prepare and make changes on the fly, right?
Yep.
And maybe that's something that he's looking at doing, looking to try and do. I do think Kiki Herbert-Harrigan, 7 points. You know, she hasn't played bad by any means. I'm not saying she's played bad, but I think we haven't seen the potential that a player like she is in this tournament so far. I know it's only been 3 games, but I do think she's someone who you need to get her confidence back and get her feeling a little bit better about her game, because I think for them to move on, they're going to need bigger contributions, especially from a player like her.
Well, that does it for the first game of this game day 3. Germany will be second in this group. They'll play the 3rd place in Group D. We'll find out who that's going to be later on today. But for now, Shona and I, it's goodbye.